Hello, writers, and welcome back to Spooky Writes. My name's Kemal Onor, and on today's episode, I'm going to talk to you all about how to keep writing even if your work is getting rejected. So let's head into the storm. Okay, writes. So I want to start off by saying that rejection is part of the writer's journey. It's something that every author, every writer throughout the history of time has had to experience the pain of rejection. And rejection can come at any stage. It can come after you've been published a number of times. Any author can be rejected. You can be rejected even after you've had novels published. You can be rejected after 100 short stories. You can be rejected at any stage of your writing career. And rejection is one of those things that it will sting the first couple of times that it happens to you, but through the course of writing, through the course of submitting more work, and as your work improves, you'll start to feel that your rejection letters are going to be more personalized. Writing, a lot of the times you'll get what's called a form rejection letter, and these are typically letters that are very terse in their approach to rejecting your work. It might say, "Dear author, your work doesn't fit our needs at this point in time. Thank you so much for submitting." And it's very just matter of fact. It doesn't offer any kind of feedback, and a lot of rejection slips don't offer a lot of feedback. And one of the big reasons for this is because of the fact that magazines and editors and publishers are so inundated with the sheer volume of work that is being submitted to them on a daily, if not hourly basis. Editors have to use very short, terse responses, and these are typically copy-paste, again, form rejection slips. But as your writing improves, as you get stronger as an author, as you write better and better and stronger stories, your work, you'll start to see sort of an evolution or a change, ideally in the way that rejection letters are delivered to you. I still get rejected on work that I've submitted, and I have over 30 publications to my name, and I still get great joy from receiving rejection letters that offer highlights or add more than just a simple "thank you so much for submitting to us. This isn't right for us at this time." And those are all markers that you are on the right track. These are markers that you are progressing as an author, markers that you are improving your work. And as your work will improve, the more that you write, the more that you read, it doesn't happen overnight. Again, writing is not an instant, I want to make money tomorrow. It's, I want to pursue this for my life. And you have to understand that you can always improve. You can always continue to strive for better and better writing. You can always make your language clear. And that's one of the hard things about editing, is that when you edit your work, you might feel that you've edited your work to the point of nauseum, to the point where you are just so burned. You don't even want to look at your piece anymore. And you have to edit, you have to revise your work, but at some point you also have to just kind of let that piece go, let it out into the world. And if it gets rejected, it can very much sting, because as authors, as creative people, we've devoted hours, we've devoted years of our lives to the study of writing, or we've spent years working on a novel. We've spent so much time and effort writing and creating the best work that we feel that we can at this point in time. So one of the big things that you have to understand about rejection is that it's not personal. And I will be doing a video all about that will be going more in depth to the idea of why your work is possibly getting rejected. So stay tuned for that. But this video, I'm talking about how to keep writing even if you're just inundated with rejection, because again, rejection is something that we all struggle with. We all struggle with the concept that writing is subjective, and that what I consider good writing might not be a good fit for a certain magazine. It might not be what a certain editor deems as suitable for publication. So you have to understand that rejection is not personal. Don't take it personal. When magazines say, your work is not right for us at this point in time. Take that at face value. Editors and agents are not rejecting you based off of your personality. They're not rejecting you. It's not a slap of your personal character. It's simply stating that this work doesn't fit our needs at this point in time, and you need to understand that it's part of the process. And it can feel very scary to put yourself out there into the world to say, I've spent so much time creating the best work that I can possibly create. I've revised this work multiple times. I've made 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 10 drafts of this piece, and I want to send it out. And to have that work sent back and be told that it's not good enough, I can personally attest that I've had work that I have submitted to magazines, and editors will say, we want a rewrite of this. And there have been times when I've done that rewrite and the editors say, this is great, and then they publish it. But there are also times where I've gone back and forth with an editor and I've made changes. I've reworked the piece to the requests that the editor is asking of me to change my work, to perhaps trim down some scenes, to perhaps change my beginning or change how my story ends. And I'm always willing to make these changes because I want my piece to fit the magazine. I want it to fit with the editor's vision of the piece of the magazine or the anthology that he or she is putting together. And so you also need to understand that, like Hemingway said, you need to kill your darlings. You need to be attached to your work, but not overly attached to the point where you are not willing to bend any of your creativity. You want to be an author that is easy to work with. You want to be an author who is open to suggestion, because you need to be agreeable, because editors and agents want to work with authors who are going to have a kind temperament. They want to work with writers who are professionals. If you're responding to a rejection letter and saying, you didn't understand the way that you just don't understand my genius, that's not someone that editors want to work with. Editors want to work with people who are open to suggestion and are willing to meet halfway, to meet somewhere in the middle with what the editor wants and what your own creative vision is for your work. And so you also have to understand, what are you willing to change? What do you want to keep a firm stance on? Are you open to changing the ending? I've had editors who have initially told me that if I don't change the ending of my story, that they're going to have to reject my piece. And I'm always willing to edit and change my piece. But dealing with rejection is something that can overwhelm so many people. It's something that can prevent so many people from continuing to write. And the truth is, so many people who pursue master's degrees, so many people who pursue MFA degrees in creative writing, so many people who pursue the craft and the career of an author, the career of a writer, they'll become so disheartened with the act of submitting, and so disheartened with the sheer rejection of it all, because it can very much feel like a personal attack. It can feel like, I am not good enough to do this, and self-doubt will enter, and you're like, I should give up on this. I should pursue something that is more worthwhile. And if you believe writing is worthwhile and it's in the core of your being, and you absolutely have to pursue the act of writing, rejection is just an obstacle in your way. It's just another hurdle that you have to get through. You have to get comfortable with people saying no, and understand that just because one editor, just because one agent has said no to your work, doesn't mean that it's not right for some other publication. I've had stories that have been rejected 7, 8, 9 plus times, and then it finds its right market, it finds the right publication. So you have to understand that you cannot take rejection personally. You have to understand that it's nothing about you personally. It's simply stating that the work is not quite where it needs to be. And as you improve, as you get better, definitely take pride in those rejection slips where editors offer a little bit more feedback, where they take any amount of time to give any kind of praise, even if it's something so small like, hey, I really liked the first half of this story, but the rest of it doesn't quite do it for me. It doesn't quite fit with the magazine. It doesn't quite fit with my vision of the anthology I was putting together. And so you have to understand that rejection is just part of the game of being a writer. It's just part of the growing process. If writing was incredibly easy, everyone would have novels. Everyone would be publishing every single thing that they've written. And I have stories that I've written from years ago that still haven't seen the light of day because I've put them on the back burner, because I've put them out as much as I'm willing to, and I revisit them, I rewrite them, and I try them every now and then. And it's just about putting yourself out there. You have to understand that after a while, the sting of rejection feels less and less. And as you continue to write, your skin will thicken up, you'll feel stronger. And don't take rejection as a means of saying, my story isn't good enough. And understand that if you felt the desire to write your piece, if you felt the desire to create this piece of writing in the first place, it has value because you saw that has value. And just because an editor, just because a certain publisher didn't see value in your story, doesn't mean that there aren't other people out there in this world that will see value in your writing. So you have to understand that rejection is part of just the experience. It's going to force you to grow. It's going to force you to try and write stronger stories. It's going to force you to try and create better and better plots. It's going to it's going to force you to improve as an author, because if everything was easy, why would there be any desire for you to change? Why would there be any desire for you to improve as an author? Rejection is just one of those things that's going to push you towards becoming a better author. It's going to force you to evolve as an author. It's going to force you to read more books. It's going to force you to seek out more knowledge. It's going to force you to improve as an author overall. And so it's part of the journey, just something that you have to deal with. Again, every author throughout the history of time has been rejected. Some of the greatest authors of all time have been rejected, and they persevered. They continue to write despite the overwhelming rejection. And you have to understand that in this field of writing, it's overwhelming rejection over and over again. You just have to keep putting yourself out there, continue to submit your work, and eventually it will find a home. So thank you so much. Make sure that if this is your first time watching one of my videos, make sure that you hit subscribe. Make sure you give it a good thumbs up. Possibly leave a comment below. Let me know. Have you ever felt overwhelmed with rejection? And as always, thank you so much, and keep it spooky. And then, of course, here is your writing prompt for sticking around to the end. We walked deeper into the woods, side by side. The darkness encroached, and through the thick of night, I started to hear blank. So set your timer and start writing. Thank you so much.